about an hour and a half ago now, James Gunn and DC released the first slate of upcoming content for the DCU. He's calling it the first half of the first chapter. They're calling it Gods and Monsters. And I want to talk about that in this video.
And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is out gaming, this first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next
Okay, I think it's important to remember that several months ago, maybe in November, early December, James Gunn was quoted as having saying, because like when he got hired at DCU, obviously everyone was like, regardless of who would have gotten hired, it would have been, I sure hope that they can get some continuity in it. I sure hope that we can get some connective tissue in it. Even if it's not exactly MCU level, there's a bit more fluidity and again, continuity. But when it's James Gunn, someone who was not only at Marvel Studios, but was a instrumental figure, it would be quite natural to extra hope for some continuity and some connective tissue with this upcoming DCU. But when you go back to November, what everyone's talking about, despite what is obviously the buzzwords and the catchphrases, it's actually not the MCU that his DCU is going to try to emulate. That it's actually Star Wars. First off, yes, the sequel trilogy has a lot of criticisms that are absolutely warranted, but The Mandalorian is fire. Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie ever. I actually liked Solo. Color me crazy. And while there was arguably way too much fan service, I also really liked Boba. But I bring that all up because at that time, I had said and was talking to friends about, no, I get it. It's not about the movie qualities or whatever. It's about the drop in, drop out nature of it. It's what Star Wars did in the video game sector to my buddies, saying, like, quoting things about how even though Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a multiplayer game, it has a campaign. And that campaign is considered canon, even now. I mean, it hasn't been retconned. It really introduces people to the concept of Operation Cinder. Now, Operation Cinder, which is essentially the Emperor's contingency plan in case he died, was actually first introduced in a comic. It's then used as the main plot point in a video game for Star Wars. And of course, in episode 9, we see it come into fruition in the whole Emperor cloning himself in the whatever, okay? So even then, I was like, I think that's what he's trying to emulate. And in 2019, we had Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Another game, video game, but it's canon. It is canon. Absolutely well and truly. We see that fleshed out further years later when Obi-Wan comes out, aka last year, with how synergized the whole Inquisitor and the Ninth Sister, the sisters and brothers, and right, that how prevalent they are in the Obi-Wan show. We probably might even get more connective tissue between Obi-Wan and the Jedi video game franchise. But I think we'll get more connective tissue. If you listen here in his video from an hour and a half ago, it's this part right here that really fascinates me. Because
usually having the same actor
thanks to, and Dave Filoni is a great caretaker of the Star Wars IP. I think most would agree that. We love when he's involved. The Clone Wars is fantastic. Well, going back to the Book of Boba, we got, in general, in the last couple years, we have gotten Cade Bane, who was originally an animated and or comic book character only, who crossed over to live action. we got Ahsoka, we got Bo-Katan, and that might have been it. If I'm missing someone, remind me and leave in the comments. But this part right here, where people they very much envision people going in and out of animated to live action to video games, and they want to keep the same voice actor. And ideally, if there's an actor, he voices them in a game. And if it's they're the voice actor in the game first, then maybe they're the character model for the animated show, etc. So, anyways, I'm really excited about this. I think everyone wants more continuity, wants more connected to. If Margot Robbie voice acts her in any Harley Quinn in any animated show, and she's Harley Quinn in any movie, and then she can voice act the character in the game, all the better. Now, of course, there's scheduling, and with really good video games nowadays, there's a lot of motion capture or performance capture work that goes into it. You look at God of War Ragnarok is absolutely mind-blowingly brilliant in terms of performance capture and voice acting work. But those are some of my thoughts. I just wanted to make this isn't really a predictive one or a theory or a speculation. This is meant more as like a hey, whoa, I just got flashbanged. For what James Gunn said months ago, connecting it to what he meant and more explicitly highlighting some examples of how Star Wars did it and how we can see characters going forward doing that in the DCU. And yeah, I'm really pumped. I have a lot of faith in him. I'm more of a Marvel guy than a DCU guy, but I can tell you that the hypothetical project of James Gunn overseeing a Lobo anything, I mean, sign me up. Douse me in it. I mean, whatever. So chain me up. All of them. I can't wait.